is yes, there is, and you can find out about it.
Where can I find it published?
Just, if you want to contact Dr. Nissenbaum, he's up at Fort Kent, Maine. Give him a call, and he'll answer your question. And
So it hasn't
secondly,
been published.
he's getting it peer-reviewed at this point.
Well, that means it hasn't been published.
I didn't say it was published. I never used that
Well,
word.
that was the implication.
Yeah.
Well, that's your assumption.
And that's my problem, is that all these implications are made. The truth of the matter is there have been no real major studies done on windmills.
I just will make one final point to your question. Depression, as many people in this room know, is a highly valid medical illness. And you should not minimize it.
But to jump to the
Next
conclusion
question.
that it was caused by a windmill
That's insane.
is bogus.
Yeah, one of the things that's striking to me is wind is not new. You talk about this intersection. This isn't new. You know, wind has been used for a very long time. I used to live in Southern California, commuted to Palm Springs. There are hundreds of them. Where are the studies from Palm Springs, New Mexico, where they have hundreds and hundreds of windmills? This can't be the first study.
There's very little in the literature to
Well, maybe
to go
because
to.
there's nothing there.
Well, that's, you know, I think that's a very fair point. But let me answer you by this. There are no studies other than the ones that are beginning to occur. Now, many people who live near wind turbines, who have abandoned their houses, who have signed gag orders where they don't talk about why they left. These things exist too. But I agree with you that out west, there's a lot less of a placement of turbines in areas where there are populations. And there aren't that many turbines that are placed on ridge lines where the propagation of noise, according to ANWA, is increased. I didn't come here tonight to say anything other than let's keep an open mind to the possibility. Let's not shut off the voices of people who have claimed that they have suffered from this.
No, but I'm not suggesting that. What I'm suggesting is this can't be the first study. What's problematic to me is like Mars Hill, Maine, where there's how many? I don't know.
There's not, you know, I've searched the literature as well. There is very little out there.
Well, there's lots of wind turbines
I
close to populated areas, and I'm saying, if there is something, we should have known about it by now.
You know, I don't have an answer for you. I think that's my third question.
Yeah.
But I'll be happy to entertain questions.
Yeah. Write your thought down and he'll be back, right? You aren't going home.
No, I got a ride. I think we can.
Thank you, Doc. The third speaker this evening is Dan McClure. He owns the Century 21 Farm and Forest Real Estate Company and has been in the business for the past 26 years. And he's going to speak to us a little bit about real estate values. Welcome, Dave.
On a bee farm up there. Got in real estate in 1984, and in 1993 I started Century 21 Farm and Forest Realty. We currently are located on Route 5 in Derby. Got 15 full-time agents, and we also have another office in Eastburg, which used to be the former Computer Watson agency, and that now runs for us. My son works closely with us. He's a graduate of UVM and went for engineering, and he was selling real estate. Anyway, we're real happy of being in this business and proud of the accomplishments my agency has done and so on. I've been asked to speak here about property values and my personal dealings with the farm that abuts this property, the project for 1.5 miles, the Nelson Farm up on Bailey Hazen Road. Wondering here how many people have been to Donnie and Shirley Nelson's farm. Can I have a show of hands? Thank you. So you all know how pretty of a spot it is, and you can understand why Donnie and Shirley are concerned. The Nelson Farm is 586 acres, sits at the end of a town-maintained road called the Bailey Hazen Road. What makes this farm so unique is its location up high at the base of Lowell Mountain Range. Kind of hard to understand that it's up high at the base, but that's how it is when you get there. The farm offers stunning views from all angles, looking south toward Craftsbury Village, northeast toward Arsburg Village, to the west of the majestic Lowell Mountain Range. I don't know of another farm that offers the peace, the quiet, the privacy of views as the Nelson Farm does. The listed price of this farm is $1.5 million, and because of the natural state of what it has to offer, it's a great deal in my opinion. Find another farm that has this much to offer, along with the acreage, if you can. I've been in it for 25 plus years. I haven't found a farm that comes near to this property. Over the years, farms have been subdivided in a number of lots and now have close neighbors. The Nelsons have chose to keep their farm intact, thinking it would bring a premium if they did, and it should. Well, the farm has been on the market. I've shown it a number of times to interested parties. Many others have logged onto our website and asked for details. I have never shown this farm to a customer who was not awed at what the property had to offer. To see the enthusiasm disappear once I tell them of the proposed wind farms on top of Lowell Mountain, which would start from south of this farm's property line and follow their property 1.5 miles north and beyond. I had a group of nuns who had looked at the farm, and they were very interested in starting a religious retreat and an organic farm on this property. We spent a lot of time on it, and this was when the talk of wind going on Lowell Mountain had just started coming out. Anyways, the wind blew their dreams away. I called them the flying nuns. We had a couple from Canada who looked at the farm as a family retreat. They fell in love with it, but said the proposed windmill would ruin what the farm has to offer: the peace, the quiet, the dead-end seclusion. We ended up selling them another property, 600 acres of raw land for $1 million, and the asking price on that property was $1.5 million. Also had another Canadian couple who wanted to look at the farm and change their mind once I told them about the proposed wind project. They too were looking for a family retreat. I did sell another farm, another property, 165 acres with a large home for $1.3 million. And the town had that property assessed at $606,000. Another party from Boston was looking at this property to build a bed and breakfast along with a number of rental cabins and start a mountain biking trail system, hiking and cross-country skiing, and even just sitting back and enjoying the quiet and beauty the property offered. After much thought about the wind farm potential, they chose not to go any further. I'm still working with these folks, and looks like we will be buying something else soon. I have a family from New Hampshire who's retiring out of the business, and they've been up to Don and Shirley's farm for at least 3 times now, and they want to grow some organic beef and vegetables, and just love the spot. When they get there, they can't leave. You almost have to put them in the car and shove them down the road to get rid of them, but they are asking me to keep them posted as to what's going on with the wind project. If the wind project goes through, they want me to find something else for them. This past fall, I had a couple from Florida. They also fell in love with the farm. They found this farm on their own and asked me to come up and show it to them. We walked around, showed them the property, and I explained to them the potential of the wind farm. They're gone, they bought something in New York.